Well, Rich here and welcome back to the channel, my fellow drifter maniacs. In today's video, I'm going to be talking you through the current spec on my three WLTOYS 124019. The third one actually started live as a WLTOYS 144001, but after you've seen how easy it is to modify to a 124019, you might be interested in doing the same. Anyway, let me get that camera down, talk you through the builds, and I'll explain what I've been doing for the past week, because I've been out testing one of these cars, playing around with the setup on them nearly every day. So let's go take a look and I'll talk about what's working for me and what's... And I'm going to talk you through all the new parts I've got to fit to these cars and why I'm going to be fitting them. First of all, this is my number one 124019. This is the car that really started it all, if you like. This is the one that did 100 miles an hour on just 2S on the stock gearing. Now, since then, I have fitted Mod 1 gearing to the car, but more on that in a second. Still got the same 6900 kV brushless motor, Castle SW4 ESC on there. I finally got round to getting the servo properly sorted, so that is now screwed down on some body posts rather than zip lock tied down. And at the front, I've made myself a nice new metal spoiler, and I've been playing around with the shock oil weights both front and rear, and the spring tension as well as the ride height at the front of the car, as that seems the key to getting the car going hooked up properly and fast, is how well it handles at the front. So that's what I've spent the past week playing around with. Moving on to my second one, I've also made a wing for this in the past couple of days. On here, once again, I've been playing around with the spring rates, the shock oil on there. Got my servo nicely fitted down in place. New Castle Mamba X ESC under warranty from Castle, which was good. 5700 kV brushless motor fitted to this, running stock gearing. You will know at the rear, I've got metal wing mounts on here, and this is actually a wing from an A959B. I'm not convinced that's quite got enough downforce. The one I was trying earlier on had too much downforce on it, but this is maybe a little bit light at the back under power with it when you're trying it with 3S. Now, I've been fiddling around a lot with the configuration car over this week. I'm probably going to take this, strip it down again. I turned the timing up on the Castle ESC to give the 5700 kV as much high-end revs as I could to get a top speed out of it, but it's only hitting around about the high 70s, 80 mark, and it won't go any quicker. So I'm thinking it is that combination of that motor and the stock, and this one's only got the stock gearing on board it. So that is a work in progress, that one. And note, by increasing the timing, you decrease the torque of the motor. So while the front stays glued to the floor with that wing, the rear is getting a bit loose, and that wing could maybe do with doing a little bit bigger. So what plans have I got for these two over the weekend? Well, that Mamba X ESC is coming out of here and into car number one to run that 6900 kV motor. This is running Mod 1 gearing at the rear. Now, that is a 3D printed Mod 1 gear sitting there in the centre, made by my friend Morgan. I'll put a link to his gears on eBay, as they are selling very well, and he also makes a 3D printed variable motor mount, and I'll put a link to that as well should you be interested. So that ESC in this car will hopefully sort the power plant out, as it was running this car on 3S this week. This thing would hit about 75 miles an hour and then flip over. I was just having constant aero issues with it. Since then, I fitted a mini Traxxas Mini E-Revo rear wing to the car. I've put thicker weight oil in the rear shocks and thicker weight oil in the front shocks as well. And I did mention I had three of these cars now. This was originally a WLTOYS 144001, and I got already fitted a lot of the metal aluminum upgrades to the car. So what have I done to it? I've gone out and bought a 124019 chassis and drive shaft, and that was all that was needed to turn the car into a 124019. Simple as that. You will notice though, this has had more than a few mods to it already. Again, we've got that same Mod 1 gearing fitted to the back of the car. Carbon towers, both at the rear and at the front. In the middle here, I've printed up a 3D bearing carrier on there to stop any vibration in that drive shaft. I'll put a link to that below the video if anyone's interested. Castle 6900 kV motor on there. I am going to be putting another Mamba X into this one. Now, you'll note the modified under tray. I've got one of these 4S packs from Electron Pro to fit to the car. Bought one today just to see if it fitted in exactly where I wanted it to, and that fits like a glove, so I'm going to get another one tomorrow to go on this side. Mount the ESC roughly around here, new servo to go in there. And drive shafts, my one recommendation to people on these cars is to fit the metal CVD drive shafts all round, both front and rear. Said what goodies had I got to fit to the cars? Got a new pair of CVD drive shafts to go on the rear of car number 1, because this has currently got the stock steel drive shafts on there. But if you pop one of these joints off when the car tumbles and the wheel flops over, the drive shaft falls out, and best of luck trying to find that on a 500 long foot parking lot. But both this car and this one have already got steel CVDs fitted all around. Now on that body tray you may be thinking, Rich, what on earth's all that about? Well, I folded the edges of the side trays down there to hopefully get a little bit of aero. So I'm going to try to start with without the front wing. That is because I've got a body that I'm working on at the minute, which hopefully is going to provide like a speedrun type body for this car. So all being well, won't need that front wing. After this car that's in build, I've got a Traxxas Ruster 4x4 wing to go on the back of that. I've also got some stiffer LT racing springs to go on the back of this car to play around with to see what effect they have. I've got some new bearings. You might be thinking, what, Rich, what's the earth you on about? Well, one of the things people do is put shims in the front steering and at the rear on the shafts to take the play out of them. Now, I've been putting it up to 1/2 mil shims on there. However, I noticed the stock bearings are 4x7 by 2 mil. So what I've gone out and done is purchased some 4x7 by 2.5 mil. Hopefully that will eliminate the need for any shims in there, but I will keep you posted on that. Lastly, what are these 3 bags of little purple parts, Richie? Well, what I found out through trial and error and quite a few high-speed crashes is the hinge pin holders here. This little piece of plastic, when the car takes a big tumble, the hinge pin gets pulled around as the A-arm gets jerked around by the wheel tumbling. What that then does is cause this to wear in the middle, and you get a lot of slop, and the wheel can be moving from side to side, backwards and forwards due to the amount of slop in there. However, these replacement ones that I've got, the plastic part is completely eliminated with this little metal cup in there. So I've got those to fit to all 3 cars to eliminate that problem. Anyway, I hope all that stuff has made some logical sense to people out there. Car number 1, as I would call it, it's the first one I had that hit the 100 on 2S, has the best handling out of the 2 that are running at the minute. But this doesn't have the speed on 3S with that Castle SW4 on board, hence I'm going to swap the ESC over because I think we need a little bit more power in there for driving that Mod 1 gearing on there. So I'm fairly confident that should be absolutely flying along, and that rear wing definitely seems to work on the car. On this one, we've got a lot of power on the car, but not a lot of speed. I mean, it's still going ridiculously quick, like nearly 80 miles an hour or something on there, but it's not as quick as I thought it would be with that combination on there. So the first thing we'll be doing over the weekend, swapping the ESCs around, taking them out and testing them again. And finally, this beast on the end here. I have a feeling this thing is going to be getting some seriously quick numbers, particularly if my homemade aero actually works along with my new aero body for the car, which, all being well, I should have got modified and working by the end of this week. Anyway, I am going to be out testing them over the weekend, so hopefully some of the next videos you're going to see are of these cars running. Anyway, I hope you liked this video on my WLTOYS 124019 collection. If you did, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe. All comments and questions, as ever, welcome. Well, thumbs up if you like this video, guys. Post any comments you might have in the comment section below the video and hit the circle below to subscribe. And if you do hit the circle, don't forget to hit the bell.